Hi, everyone. We have come together today so that we can do a team AMA and answer some of your questions. So we have a whole bunch. We'll try to get through however many we can in about a half an hour. And to get things started, Sam, could you make me a martini?
Sure.
We always have an evening cocktail. I don't know about you guys. But what are you guys up to right now?
I'm sitting all the way up in Canada where it's actually warm for once. It is actually an extreme heat warning, so I'm trapped inside trying to get some air conditioning and cool down.
We've got the same thing here. It's about 95 degrees right now.
Yeah, that's really high.
That means I'm not going
Actually,
anywhere.
surprisingly much cooler in Denver this week than it was last week. It's only in like the 80s. Last week it was 96 and up all week. Much better now. Being from Maine, I love I love like a nice high 70s.
Mm-hmm. We're headed up to Maine on Saturday, and we're very excited. It's going to be like a high of 75 the whole week.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Maine summers, there's nothing better. Like 75 with a nice breeze. It's beautiful.
The bartender back there is doing a fantastic job. I see that he's on duty quite a bit.
Looks like a big
I am
tip.
sure.
Is that
Yeah, so he's making himself a martini with olives, and I have mine with a twist.
nice? Dirty martinis. Like one of my favorite things to make.
Want me to read a question?
Yeah, let's get it started.
All right. The first question that someone asked said, "Is the app only for people with disabilities?"
Yeah.
Very good question. Todd?
Yeah, to start, I think that was the original plan, was to have it just be for the disability community and kind of let it grow from there, in the sense of we've talked about potentially having another side to the app for caregivers, friends and family, physical therapists,
stuff like that, so people can share more information, because obviously someone like myself or Sam or Jack, obviously we could still use support being loved ones of someone with a disability. So in the future, we definitely want to have that be an option. But to start,
just focusing just on the disability community and having it be exclusive for them, I think is what we decided.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
Next
think
one.
you nailed that, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is, will there be video options on the app like TikTok or Instagram Reels?
the answer is yes. We do want to have, I'm not sure what we're going to call them yet, but we do want to have kind of like a media section. So it'll be a similar, swipe to the next video kind of idea.
I haven't seen how that is going in development or where we're at with that as of right now. Bob might know a little bit more, but I believe that.
Yeah, right now, of course, the app can actually handle like your photos and it can handle video uploads. So we can actually share videos and everything. But I think for more of the question is will it be just a section of like short reels? That's not on the first version of it, but we've had a conversation as a team that is something that we might go into a different model. So we'll see what everybody wants, right? What the public wants. We'll do a little bit of an analysis of how everyone's enjoying the app, what they kind of would like it to look like in the future or add-ons. Then we'll pivot that into the second design for the second version.
Yeah, and I think that's a good time to mention too that this second version, when we talk about that, we do want that to try to come out, within something like 6 months, 6 to 8
months after the original, after the first version of the app. So the goal is really to listen to the community and kind of those first users that we get on there and really see what they want on the app and what they don't want, and then adjust accordingly and kind of go back to development and just really listen to the community and have it be built
by that community for that community.
Yep.
Yeah, totally agree. But the good thing is that since we're hosting these, we get to get a little bit of early user feedback. If anybody has any thoughts or suggestions, you can go ahead and put them in the comments, and we'll definitely make sure to answer you.
Yeah, or even more questions for us to answer.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do more of these in the future.
Yeah. All right, what's the next one?
The next one, I keep getting messages too about this. When will the app launch?
That's very good.
Yes, that's a very good question. We were scheduled to come out in July, but we were delayed by our design and some of our database. But it looks like it'll probably be, we'll shoot for September 1st. Even if we are done before that, it'll give us some time to do some extra testing in the beta to making sure that the experience doesn't collapse on the users. So we'll get through majority of the bug testing and beta throughout all of August, regardless, so that we can actually make sure that we're prepared to launch in September.
Yeah, I think the original plan was that we really wanted to launch it on Aaron's Life Day, which is July 11th, coming up in a
couple days. Obviously, things don't always work out how you plan them to, but I think it was a good milestone to or a good goal to shoot for. But I think it's better to do it the right way than to rush it out to get it out on a specific day.
All right, Aaron, what else you got for questions?
Someone asked, will there be user profiles?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the main part of the app. Actually, is the step number one is setting up your user profile, and also for it to identify, if you want to identify which disability category you fall in, so that you can just speak with those in that category or see the resources in that category, or you can be open to all. So yeah, definitely user profile is a big one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I definitely want to talk. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. Go ahead.
No, just follow-up question on that. You think about like Facebook has very specific things that they put on their portfolio or their profile, same with LinkedIn, because it's professional. Is there any specific details that people are going to be able to display on that profile?
Well, yeah, Todd, you can explain that. You did the design on it.
Yeah, so it's kind of what Bob was saying with the biggest thing on the profile is going to be whether or not you want to share your disability or diagnosis. And something we haven't really talked about super publicly yet is how we're going to be using the disability groups. And that's basically based on the disability pride flag. So the disability pride flag is 5 colors and they all represent a different disability group. So it's kind of how we're going to be using that to
visualize almost.
Yeah, to be more transparent, so you know who you're talking to on the platform, just from looking at their profile picture. So that color that you get assigned based on the disability group will go around your profile picture, and it's just a way to be a little bit more transparent and to know who you're talking to on the platform. So that's kind of the biggest thing, but everything on your profile will be it's up to you how much you want to share and how much you don't. So you could put your location, your birthday, all the stuff, just like Facebook, and you can have that either be public or private.
Yeah, we'll definitely have that. So same as Facebook for that, but and then the same for Instagram for likes. It'll just be a tally of how many likes you have.
Okay. All right.
Are you going to call them likes, or are you going to call them something else?
I don't know yet. What should we call them? Sam, that's a good question.
Yeah. We were talking about them helpful votes, right?
Right, yeah, it's more of like if the post is helpful or if it...
Nice thing is these are small little changes that we can always do. So if anyone else has suggestions on what we should call it when we find a helpful post, or we like a photo, or we like something, what we should call it inside our app, I'm all for changing it. The developers can do small tweaks like that really quickly.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
because I think that was the original plan, to have the like still be like a like, but then have the helpful button be a little bit different, where you're really like, hey, I found this helpful, like I want to see more stuff like this.
And with the helpful part of it, that's actually going to be running back in on our back end. So if we have it selected on resources, let's say, and people are putting helpful, it's going to help us actually determine we're using AI algorithms to calculate what resources we should actually populate in front of everybody's eyes. So if a lot of people are finding certain resources very helpful, the backend is going to actually be able to identify that this is actually a priority. This is what people like to see and read, and they found it helpful, and it will start populating it in front of individuals that could utilize that. That is something that we will build. It's already part of the resources where we'll gather the data, and then we'll build the algo and actually have that work once we get enough data, right? We need people on the app and people to utilize this stuff to actually get the stats so that we can do it.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And if any of the viewers have any ideas about alternate language that we can use for any of these features, that would be great, because we want to make sure this app is super inclusive. So if you guys have other ideas, please let us know in the comments. All right, what's the next one?
A lot of people have been asking on YouTube if the app will eventually be available in other countries.
It will be available in other countries, of course. We do have to do our due diligence and making sure that when we do release, not only just into North America but overseas, that we are, in our legal boundary. I don't know what kind of word to put it, but we just have to make sure that we're legally allowed to release it in every area that we can.
So does North America include Mexico, Canada, U.S., and Central America, or is it?
Well, yeah, no, right now it'll just be, we're going to stick to Mexico, US, and Canada for the first right hop. Also, we got to make sure that we don't overload the database too much. So everything's sitting on AWS servers, of course, across North America as of now. And then once we get a certain kind of growth, we'll then figure out where we're going to expand to next. So it actually might be a little exciting for us to make announcements on when we're actually moving forward.
Yeah. Next one is, does the app support screen readers, voice control, text size, color schemes, all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Todd, do you want to talk on that, or?
Yes, that is definitely something that we want in there. We want to be as accessible as possible to make the app accessible to as many people in the community as we can.
Yeah, and we're going to really rely on the users to help us out figuring out what does and doesn't work moving forward, and how we can kind of handle any issues as they come up. So, everyone's going to have to work with us to figure out how we get version 1 working smoothly.
Yeah, and our specialty is definitely more with the physical disability side of things. I mean, obviously Aaron, Laura, and Dwayne all are part of the spinal cord injury community. So once we kind of learn more about all of these other communities, and when we get some feedback from them, then we'll be able to, like you said, Laura, adjust accordingly and kind of hit all the pain points that we can and make sure that, it is accessible to as many people as possible.
I was going to say about alt text. I think we should definitely have a section for every post, so that way people are encouraged to include it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, I know the goal eventually is to not need it to be manually done on every post by everyone. Because I know Instagram has that feature where you can go in and add an image alt text. Eventually, the way AI is going, once we, obviously that's not a very cheap option, but once we kind of get further into it, I would love to have that be an option where we can automatically have that on every single post, no matter what. Mm-hmm. I think that would be a really cool feature.
Yeah. Definitely.
The next one is, are there peer mentorship programs available within the app?
I like that
question. Yeah, it's a great question. I would say to start off, we're not per se building a peer mentor program into the platform to start. I think that the way we're building the app, it's going to be used in a way where you can create that on your own. With having the groups and the events and the forums, you kind of have so many different avenues that you can explore to really connect with those people. And, just the events, whether it's in-person meetups or it's virtual meetups, that's definitely the goal, is to get people to connect with each other. I think is super powerful for both sides.
Because we've been talking about having helpful votes instead of likes, if somebody is really active on the app and they're posting a lot of stuff that's helpful for people, it's going to be able to bolster their track record, to be able to show people that they are somebody who is very active. They're somebody who tends to help people a lot. So it kind of lends itself to that function already, which is fantastic, because we want people who really stand out as being incredibly helpful to be easy to find.
Yeah, and I think the cool part of that is once we kind of are able to use those statistics and those analyze kind of that data on who's the most helpful and who's really out there trying to uplift the community, we can start implementing something like a leadership program or ambassadors, or and start bringing people kind of onto a team right below us on the founding team, and have them go out and really start pushing events and in-person meetups and seminars and all this
stuff. And I think there's so many people out there that have so much to share, and they have no way to share it yet. And obviously the goal is that this platform will give them a way to share their voice and their story.
I mean, you had me at leadership program. My former HR brain just like freaked out for a second.
I love it.
All right. What's our next question?
How often will the app be updated with new features?
Consistently, we have our developers in the back end always tweaking any kind of bugs and doing current updates, just making sure that the database and the infrastructure is actually sound and that everyone can use it and it doesn't, crash. So that's always being updated consistently. But for new features and updates, I think we as a team are going to do it more staggered, where we're going to take a bunch of insight from the community, what they want, then we're going to prioritize it as a team. So internally, we'll figure out all the features that they want, because I know everyone's going to want the moon and the stars, but we'll figure out what is accessible for the next version, and then we'll go ahead and we'll redesign. We'll go ahead and then push out the update. But I think at this point we can safely say every year there will be a feature update, and if the community grows at anything quicker than we think it might. It could look like every 6 months we'd be kind of adding features to it, but all we want to do is try to make improvements at the first little bit, and then after that, then we can get into some fun, wild things, right?
Yeah. I vote that every time we push through an update, we do so on a team retreat in, Aruba or something.
Yeah, I think we could pick a new spot every time we do a launch, what I mean?
That was a great idea.
Yeah, Bob will cover the cost for that one.
Bob,
Did you cover the cost for that one? Did you say me? Did you say I'm covering the cost?
Yes.
Then we're all staying in a cheap Airbnb, 2-bedroom.
Yeah. We got a motel in Kansas.
It's not even.
No, I think every time we do all have to put together here soon. I think me and Nemo will have to come down from Canada. We'll all have to get together here right after launch at least.
Mm-hmm.
We got to all unite. And yes, it would be nice if we could every time we launch a big launch all to get together. And as the team grows, and I hope that this time next year we were sitting in front of 10, 12, 15 people every single week, going through updates on the app and the community, that we can all start to get together more and more. So,
well, hey, just a little over a year from now, we're all going to be together at Aaron and Jack's wedding. So
that we will.
Good point.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, I only have time for one more question. I have to do jet, so sorry.
No worries.
I have a 5 o'clock here, so
I think we're on the last one.
what's the? Oh, it is the last one.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Can the app assist in finding accessible locations and services nearby?
Yes, it can.
Great question.
Yes,
Yeah.
it can. We actually I was just talking with the development team on that, and we were trying to figure out with the data scientists how we're going to do that. So we are going to rely on, of course, our users and our own team. So we are going to any space that we can pull the information from Google. So if you can find event spaces that say it's wheelchair accessible or any kind of other things that they might have, we are going to try to pull that data, or we're going to try to pull that data from Yelp. We're in the middle of figuring that out right now. Yelp has the biggest database, so we can purchase that and actually embed that into our system.
And the other cool thing about that is, as far as I know, we're also planning on letting people leave reviews on any place that they've went, so they can kind of submit those to us or just on the platform. And it basically tells the rest of the community how accommodating, let's say a restaurant or a venue or something like that, how accommodating they were, how accessible it actually is. Because I mean, Aaron and Laura both know that a lot of places say they're accessible, and then you get there and they're just so the goal is to have it be as transparent as possible, and if hopefully only one person has to experience that and then shares it with the rest of the community, so that it doesn't happen to more than one person.
Yeah, I am very excited for that feature, because once I became injured and I started going out in the world, I mean, first off, I was so scared to leave the house. And so when we did go, I would do obsessive research to try to find out, was it accessible, so we wouldn't have that moment of getting there and realizing that we can't get in. And so now I leave reviews for every single place that I go. And so it's just, I put it on Yelp, I put it on Google, and now I'll be able to put it on the 10%. So we'll be able to help people a little bit more directly who are looking for that info.
Yeah, that's awesome.
100%.
Well, that's going to be one thing we're going to have to ask, a big ask next year, is we're going to have to grow our team, right? So our app is going to be a little different than just you build an app and you put it out there and you just hope that the users all use it and use it well. We do have a lot of back end work that's going to be done by us as a team, and then hopefully a bunch of additions, because we would like to be adding more resources to our page. We would like to be adding more space events, all the things that you can think of. We would like to be adding it and also making sure we research it on the back end versus allowing the users just to go ahead and do it. We want to make sure that we vet everything. So we will be growing our team. And with that, we'll be looking for a lot of people to help out with that. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and with that being said,
Sorry.
I was just going to say, with that being said, once people start actually coming on the app, I would love to have those new team members be part of the community. Who better to build this stuff and to work on it than people that the people that are going to be using it. So I think that's going to be a really cool opportunity for the community to really get involved.
Well, hopefully the community gets big enough that we can start partnering with a lot of establishments, a lot of workplaces, and we can actually start embedding a system where we can get people hired and, just make it a better life for the disability community and making it easy and more accessible and just, everyone working together.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Beautiful. Well, I do have to run, guys. I am sorry. I feel like I'm always the one that has to run. I'm so busy.
You're fine.
I love you guys all, and I really appreciated this. I hope that we did answer some of the questions, thoroughly. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys in our weekly meetings tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to add
that if anyone has any other questions or wants to see more stuff like this,
definitely leave some comments. Follow our Instagram, the 10% app. Go on our LinkedIn. We're posting updates on there daily now. So definitely get involved. I think that, we want as many people behind this as possible. And the more people that get on board, the more likely that we can create something that can really make a difference.
Yeah.
Well said.
All right. See you guys.
Okay. Well, see you guys later. We got to catch up.